Welcome back to episode 54 of our Ocarina of Time walkthrough, the Shadow Temple. After entering the Shadow Temple, you'll notice all will not be as it appears. The first cavus can be crossed just by using a hook shot. And here you'll want to equip the Lens of Truth. We'll be using that quite a bit. The shadow will yield only to the one with the Eye of Truth handed down in Kakariko Village, the Eye of Truth being the Lens of Truth. So upon entering the large room here, simply make the first left-hand turn and then another left-hand turn, with hidden walls that obviously can only be seen by using the Lens of Truth. When walking in the first door here, make your first right, and then using the Lens of Truth we can see an opening here. Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred is all buried down here in the Shadow Temple. After the door abruptly shuts behind us, you can either run around the Re-Dead that you see in front of you and easily kill it with your sword, or play Sun Song and freeze it and then kill it. There's also two keys that have to be dealt with that are up on the walls. And as soon as everybody's been defeated, a big chest will appear, and we can open it up to obtain the dungeon map. The two pots on the ground will contain some arrows and a recovery card. Now we'll continue to work our way around to the right using the Lens of Truth. See another opening here, and then go to the right again, and then straight ahead there's another door. This will lead us to a familiar mini-boss who we just saw previously in the bottom of the well, Deadhead. So again, we need to get caught by one of his hands to make him appear. Then push A and B repeatedly over and over to free yourself. And then once Deadhead lowers his head, slash away with your sword, doing as much damage as possible. You'll have to run around, get recaptured by the hand, and then just repeat the process over and over again until Deadhead has officially been defeated. Well, with the dead hand officially defeated, we'll get a chest, which will contain an item that we'll need to progress any farther in the dungeon. The mysterious hover boots. Now we can run across the ground where there is no ground and not fall down. How cool is that? However, they do have a limitation. After a few seconds, you will fall down, so you can't go very far with them. We'll use them in a moment. Sort of like in the Water Temple, we'll have to switch between the hover boots and the regular boots a few times, but not quite as much as the iron boots in the Water Temple. Now we have to run all the way back out of here, the same way that we came in, back to that main room again. upon entering this large room, you'll notice the giant bird in the middle. If you look at all the skulls on the side without the Lens of Truth, all of them are visible. However, with the Lens of Truth, only one is. So the bird wants its beak to face the true skull. So, using your Lens of Truth, push the beak of the bird to face the true skull. Failure to do that correctly means plummeting to death, as the entire thing will fall through. So if you do it correctly, the gate will open up. You will avoid death. Now if you look at the sign over here, and the sign here says only those with the sacred feet can cross the chasm. So of course the sacred feet being the hover boots. So you can go ahead and equip them now, and then you'll be able to run across. The boots barely have the range to make it. So we need to run in a straight line. You don't want to come at it diagonally at all. Run just right past the torch, and then you'll be able to make it. At this point, no reason to keep the hover boots on, so we can switch back to our tried and true Kokiri boots. Coming into this big round room, we'll run around the Beamos using our Lens of Truth to see that the wall on the right is fake. So run through. And in this room, we'll find two Gibdos that both need to be defeated. Shouldn't be any problem to kill them, especially with the big Goron sword. You can play Sun Song, which will freeze them if you wanted to, and then just run behind them and kill them as well. And after they're defeated, they'll drop jars of magic. After the Gibdos are defeated, the large chest will appear by the torches, which we can open up and obtain the compass. Now, using our Lens of Truth again, after leaving the room, there's another fake wall. Not that one, that one's real, but the one on the other side of the Beamos, leading to a door, so we'll go through here. Now, this room, much like what we did in the Ice Cavern, involves collecting all the silver rubies. The wall here tells you if you want to see the ferry to the other world, come here. Coming here will reveal that you would fall down to your death, so not a good idea. To avoid the blades running through, you can use your shield, which will allow you to duck, and that way you won't take any damage. And then just collect all of the silver rubies around. The one behind us here will require using the hook shot. Hook shot up and then just jump down. Now, the door will open up, revealing a room which will contain a small chest and a key. Now with a small key in hand, it's time to go deal with that Beamos. Because now we'll have to go through the actual real wall that the Lens of Truth did not see through. So before bombing the wall so that we don't get attacked by the Beamos, I recommend just defeating him. You can do that easily with a bomb. With our foe, the Beamos gone, there's nowhere else to go now but to bomb that wall and continue on through. Well, here's where we use the small key that we just picked up. Now we have a long corridor to walk through, and watch out because there's some big Skatulas that will drop down. You can see their shadows before they drop, so watch out and don't run into them. Shadow Temple here looks more like a real dungeon than any other temple in Ocarina of Time, and this is a perfect example here. So, just have to time your walk through, and of course a big statula will drop down right before you run into the second giant blade here. So make your way through that, turn the corner one more time. And Navi will warn us about a wall master that will hang from the ceiling and drop down. Here you can use your hover boots to make these jumps if you like, but they're not necessary. You will need the hover boots for this last one. It's a bit too far for a normal jump. And then I highly recommend switching back to the Courier boots before fighting the Stalfors. Easiest way to kill them is to use your shield if you're using the Master Sword or with the Big Goron Sword. Just be careful. With the Stalfors defeated, if we turn around here and we use our Lens of Truth, we can see that there are actually some floating islands here that we can run to using the hover boots. This is an optional room. You don't really need to go here, but there's a gold statula that we can grab. Running around the corner here into the main room, we'll need to use our Lens of Truth once again to see there is actually, just like in the ice cavern, big blades moving around in the middle of the room. So you'll want to avoid them so you don't take any damage. If you are underneath the blade, you can use your shield to duck underneath and then the blade will go for the top of you. Here we just have a like leg to take care of. And just one hit from the Big Goron Sword is enough to defeat him. They'll drop a bunch of rubies, but at this point in the game, probably doesn't really matter too much. Running over to the other corner here, you'll notice two pieces of recovery card, with no apparent way to get to them. Navi flies over there and turns green. That's an indication that we can play, in this case, the Song of Time. That will make a time block appear. Now we can run, jump on top of the time block, and be able to grab the pieces of recovery card. Pretty cool. Alright, in order to make the gate open, that we need to get into the little section of the room where the gold statula token is, we'll need to defeat all the keys that are in the room. They're in the corners. And with the gate open, we have access to a chest in the room, which has absolutely nothing important. We get 5 rubies out of it. And on the wall, we'll find gold statula token number 82. So go ahead and grab that. Being that that golden statula is really the only reason to come in here, now we just have to head all the way back out the way that we can. And of course our buddy, the Stalfos, is back. So just like last time, we have the option to either defeat him again, or run past him. Here I chose to do the former. Now in front of us, you can see a platform which is being raised up and down. We need to run and jump on top of that. With the hover boots on, or even without them, we don't really need them. You can just run and jump with the Kokiri boots. You'll want to make sure the platform is at its lowest point before making the jump. And for the second jump here, you definitely want to have the hover boots on. And then this jump needs to be made when the platform is near the top. After landing on here, in order to get the door open up, we just need to collect all the rubies again. And watch out for the Beamos in the middle. Recommend just taking them out with the bomb. As we round the corner here, if we look to our left, there's a sign that will tell you only the one with the Eye of Truth will find the stone umbrella that protects against the rain of blades. So using your Lens of Truth, if you look on the other wall, there's a big stone in there that we can pull out. You can use that stone then to protect you from getting smashed by those giant blades that are coming down from the ceiling. So go and just push it forward along the hallway here. If you get it into right, there's a spot in the middle where it will stop both blades from coming down. I actually stopped it a little bit short. I should have gone a little bit farther over. But if you look over here, there's two pots that you can break. They have bombs and a piece of recovery heart, nothing big. So now we'll push the block forward because I realized I hadn't gone far enough. The other blade is still going. So into the cell here, on the wall we'll find Golden Statula token number 83. Alright, the cell across the hall just contains a chest with really nothing important in it. It has a bundle of arrows. Now we'll need to move the block all the way down into its little hole there at the end. From here we can jump up on top of the block, jump over to the left, and you'll see a couple of chests on your minimap. So the way to get over to it is to jump onto that blade and then run across, and we can open the chest for 5 rubies. Whee! Then there is a switch right up here, and you'll notice that will bring the remaining chest down, which is the item that we're actually after here. So, using the Rain of Blade again, jump over here, break the 2 pots if you like, for a piece of a recovery heart, and another ruby, because I'm sure you need that, and then open up the chest to obtain a small key. Well, that will be the end of part 1 of the Shadow Temple. Please join me again. We will complete the Shadow Temple in part 2.